Hey guys, so my family got together over the weekend and we had a seafood boil and we also had some barbecue, but you know I didn't have any of the barbecue. I only actually had crab because most of you know I've been doing the pescatarian thing for a little while. But we got together to celebrate the man in red, and that's my daddy and also my uncle in the yellow. My dad's turning 50 and my uncle's turning 43. Yeah, the one right there making that crazy face. And those are some of my uncles and aunts. And we had a great time, and my dad was in his element, and I'm glad. Like, he was out in the woods, and he was showing me the garden that he helped my uncle with. And as some of you know from our previous vlog videos, that is what he's all about. And so I'm just glad that both of them had a great time and that the family got together, and we just enjoyed each other. And we took a walk down the creek, and as we were doing all of these things, I looked around and I was just amazed at how beautiful and how unique our family was. We come from a multiracial family. There's so many things in the background, and you know, we have cousins that are also mixed, but we all kind of look the same, but we look so different. You can see the resemblance, and I just think it's beautiful because we all come in so many different shades, and we all have different hair textures as well. And you know, when you have family gatherings, you sit down, you eat, you talk, and you laugh, and you enjoy one another, and that's what we did. And they all know we have a YouTube channel, of course, and we had a hair discussion. You know, we decided to go in the living room, and a lady started to chat it up, and we had a hair discussion, and we shared some of the stories and things that had happened to us recently. And as you can see, the kids are around, and that was also a part of the conversation, is watching what we say around them, because things are said unconsciously, and some people are wondering, you know, why is it important? And it's important because these are the things that affect their mindset. And what you're going to hear is the story of when Toni first decided to substitute at a high school. This happened her first day substituting, and I had already told her stories like this, so check it out.
So I was substituting for a high school here in Houston, Texas, and one of the students, a male student, asked me what was going on with my hair, what was it doing today? And I was like, kind of just, you know, thrown off by it. And so I just politely asked him, what was your hair doing? I asked him the same question, and so he was just like, well, I was just asking because, you know, it's just, you know. And I'm just like, okay. And so then he turned to a student that was next to him, and was a female, and she looked like she was biracial, and she was like, he whispered to her, he's like, so what? He said, I know your hair looks like that whenever you wet it, whenever you don't keep it straight. She was like, boy, please, I got good hair. And she kind of flipped her hair. And then I asked her, I said, well, what is good hair? She was like, this is good hair. And then she flipped it again to the other side. And so I was kind of caught off because I was going to have a small conversation with her, but I was caught off by another student, so I couldn't really, I had got caught off with another student, so it was just kind of like too long a conversation with the other students to just bring it up again, so I just kind of dropped it. But I just kind of feel like, you know, it's a recurring cycle. I thought that, you know, more and more people would get used to it, and we would slowly be getting over it, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing over and over again. The cycle continues.
We have to talk about it. So, like, if you talk about it and kind of break that cycle of what I call is ignorance. So we had to bring the party upstairs because they were having an even better time downstairs, and we wanted to continue to have the conversation. So you're going to hear from our little cousin Mia and what happened to her whenever she big chopped the end of last year, and the reaction she got from her coworkers. And I'm also going to talk about something that happened to me recently. It was like a guy thought he was complimenting me, but then he also said something negative about other women that go natural. Tell us about what happened at the JLBZ. Or
JLBZ.
When you first cut the hair, man.
The big chop.
The BC.
The one and only chop. I'm gonna let these people get what I'm saying. I walked in Walmart that morning, feeling good, comfortable with my hair. I was comfortable. I was like, you know what? I like this. It fit my face. Everybody's face. Hold on. Everybody looked at me. Like, hopped on my register. Nobody said a word. I looked at people, they in the back, bickering to each other. They catch me looking at them. So I'm just like, I know y'all talking about my hair. I know y'all talking about me. So, I went to the front of my restaurant. I'm redline, Hi, how y'all doing today? Talking to my customers, and they just like, I went from 9 o'clock that morning to 7 o'clock that evening without saying a word to anybody but my customers. Did I feel bad? No, I did not. So I went home and I was like, Mom, nobody talked to me today. Just cussing my hair. The next day came around, there was one woman there. She was like, Mia, your hair is beautiful. It looks really good. Like, oh my goodness. She was like, if I had a little brother or something, I'll throw him at you. Your hair is beautiful like that, your natural hair. And I was like, thank you. And then here come the rest of everybody. Yeah, Mia, I do like it. It fits you. But you didn't talk to me yesterday. You left me there to dry. Sad and lonely.
Oh, because of the fro.
Yeah, because of my fro. I was like, dang, I ain't got no itch.
I'm going to get my morning grits because I have this thing. Sometimes I crave grits. And so everybody's looking at my hair. He's like, I like it. So they all shaking their heads like, I like it. It's like in a twist out like this. And I was like, well, thank you. And then he turns, he's like, yeah, every sister can't do that natural though. And I'm like, I was offended. And I told him, I said, I could have taken that, well, maybe I had, that good stuff, good hair, and just taking that as a compliment. I was like, no, I said that actually offends me. And I feel like that's why a lot of women are afraid to go natural, because of comments like that, because they're so common. And so, so then he was like, well, all of them can't. And I looked and I said, so you're telling me that every woman that has relaxed hair or wears a weave is walking around with this fabulous head of hair? And then it was kind of like a pause. I said, the struggle's on both sides.
In reference to the struggle, it is real and it does not discriminate. And that's what I was telling him, regardless of your texture, regardless of your race, if you don't know how to do your hair or if it's not being done properly, you could go around with a jacked up head. And I told him, I said, the texture doesn't determine it. It's about the person and how they take care of their hair. And he had to agree with that. And so we also talked about young girls not being able, I said they can't aspire to be something that they don't see. If they don't see it, they're not going to want to do it. They're not going to want to go natural if that's not what they're used to seeing. And I told him, I said, I want you to think about that. And also, if they hear comments like the one he made.
He starts trying to come at me with stuff about, well, they need to go see a hairstylist and they need to go see this and da-da-da-da-da. And I basically went back to, I said, well, I've been turned away from hairstylists because they don't know how to do natural hair, because we don't have enough resources. I'm like, there are more salons now. A lot of them are located in the same area. But I was like, I've been turned away from a salon. And I said, I've had friends turned away where people have said things like, oh, I don't do nappy hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't do nappy hair. And I've had a woman tried to attempt to do my hair and didn't know, and I was just like, oh, this is not working, because she was trying to comb my hair with a fine-tooth comb. And I said, it's because we were not raised to care for this hair, and we just got into this conversation, but we didn't argue. He kept trying to come at me with, different things, and I told him, I said, but just imagine you're saying these comments around little girls. They don't see natural hair in the media. They don't see a lot of women or teachers rocking natural hair. And I'm like, have you ever thought of that? I said, because he looked like us, and I could tell if his hair grew out, it would grow out in the afro texture. I said, you're talking about yourself when you say things like that. We are a reflection of you. That would be your daughter you're talking about. If you have a little girl, your mom and your sisters. And I'm like, but so he was shaking his head and he was agreeing with me by the time I had my grits. And I was out the door. But I was like, it could have turned into an argument, but it was a conversation. And maybe, just maybe, the next time he's thinking like that, he may not speak up and say that, or maybe he'll correct someone else.
So my memory card ended up getting full and I had to delete some stuff off. But let's have the conversations, especially for the little ones. These are my first cousins, and as I look around the room, I believe every head of hair is beautiful. This is good hair. Your head of hair, what's growing out of your scalp, because everyone isn't fortunate enough to even have that. So celebrate the differences and stop the ignorance in its tracks, and we can have healthy debates debates, healthy conversations, and thank you all for the stories you've shared on the other videos. Please do the same on this video and the healthy, conversations we had on those videos. And this was a celebration. So to end on that note, my mom has a special message for my dad.
Oh, girl, hi! Happy birthday, honey. You know I just love you bunches and bunches and bunches.